Hi, everybody, and welcome to our anniversary episode. Yeah! Can't believe we made it. We sure can, because we started out with a plan, and here we are. Tomorrow is actually our year anniversary, and we are just so elated. We still remember gathering around that box.
One microphone,
two microphones. One of them was like a dilapidated microphone. They were just like, what's going on with this thing? But it worked, and here we are, and hallelujah. We're still hearing people listening back to that first season and just being blessed by it. And so, you know, we were green. We didn't know what we were doing, but shout out to Ramsey. Thank God for Ramsey. Shout out to Kat, who always came through clutch. Wait, did I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Did I secure the bag?
Yeah, yes.
And we're just going to take the time to reflect. You know, I hope that by now you guys have been, I know that one of my intentions to do in our social media is to just ask you guys in what ways that ITV has blessed you guys, if at all, or offended you, if at all. Whatever the case may be, how we may have impacted you. And I know that our listeners have definitely impacted our lives. I know for me, it's been very encouraging to be able to hear the way that our stories relate to you guys. And it definitely makes this thing worthwhile. And so we're just going to take the time to reflect. However, you guys know the drill. We do have our panel question, and the panel actually, I don't think I have one for this episode. Let me make sure. Nope, I don't. So we're going to start with the dating question. So ladies, my dating question for today is, what age should people start dating?
I can tell you the rule in my house was you weren't allowed to date until you were married.
Oh my goodness.
Or not, sorry, to you're married. I'm sorry.
I was going to say,
the terminology is so off there. The rule was you're not allowed to date till you're 80. No, you're not allowed to date until you're ready to get married is what I meant to say. Yeah, sorry. The rule was you're not allowed to date until you're ready to get married, meaning as the woman, are you ready to be a wife? Are you ready to step into that role of motherhood? And as the man, are you ready to provide? And do you have a job? And all of that. Yeah. So, hey, if you're 18 years old and you have a good job and you have a good car and you're able to take her out on dates, I would say that you're ready to start dating. But if not, maybe not.
Yeah. That's a good rule of thumb. I like that. Ladies?
It's tough because I think of my daughter.
Yeah, same.
And I'm like,
never.
Never. And if I have to, maybe 20. I remember I was 20 something, and my dad's like, "You can start dating now, mija." And I'm like, "I've been dating, but why am I barely getting your permission?"
Yeah. Wait a minute.
I know.
I don't know. I don't want to be. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want these words to be used against me later on in the future.
Emma digs them up somehow, some way.
I don't know. I think once you become a parent, what you envision is not necessarily what really transpires. That makes sense, right? Like, I started dating, and my mom knew, 15, 16. Gosh, I don't recommend that.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. Maybe once they're in college.
Or out of college. With a career.
Maybe college, but.
Okay, so let me switch up the wording of the question, right? About how do you know you're ready to start dating? Thank you.
I think it goes back to what Shekinah said.
When you're ready to start.
When you're ready to get married.
To get married.
My parents were really good at teaching us this. I wanted to start dating at 16 until I reached 16. And I started asking, so can I start dating? And my parents just kind of sat me down, and that was my dad's question right away was, are you ready to get married? I'm like, no, I just want to have fun. I want to hang out. And he goes, have fun doing what? And if you're a Christian and you really want to uphold biblical standards, you don't want to sleep with the person that you're dating, right? So at that point, just be friends, develop friendships. And so there's really dating without the benefits is you're just a friend. You know what I mean? And I think that's where a lot of people kind of go. They want the romance. They want the holding hands. They want to, but that leads places and that leads to thoughts. And are you really going to stay pure long term? If you start dating at 16, say you do get married at 18, but more commonly, most people don't right out of high school. But so let's say it's been 5 years until you're finally ready to get married. You've dated this person for 5 years. and you really put yourself in a place of temptation. You love this person, you're intimate with this person, and but now you have to fight those urges for 5 years. You know what I mean? I use that as just a random number, but that was something that my parents kind of explained to me at a young age, and all my siblings. And I don't know, for some reason I just grasped it. It made sense, and I applied it to my life. I know that's not the case with everybody, but it just made sense. And so even throughout college, I committed to not dating my first year. But then when that year was up, I was still in that place of, but I'm still not ready to get married. I'm still a student. I would rather focus on my friendships. I would rather focus on my studies. And then after college, and then after college, I started, working towards a career. And I was like, I'm still not ready to get married. And so I honestly, personally didn't start dating until my mid-20s. That's when I was finally going, now I'm in a place where I feel like I can be a wife. I've lived out my 20s. And I'm so glad that I did, to be honest. And I know it's different for everybody. If you get married young, I'm not. Anyway, speaking against that, I think it's great to get married young. In fact, I would probably encourage it more than waiting. But that's a whole nother episode. But I'm glad that I did it that way. I'm glad that I got to live out my 20s. I'm glad that I got to travel the world. I'm glad that I wasn't held back with thoughts of dating and relationship and long distance. And it opened the door for me to develop friendships, with other women. And it helped me grow in such a big way. So like I said, the rule for me growing up, and I would say for any good Christian, is don't start dating until you're ready to get married, until you can look at that empty ring finger and go, I want this filled. And then you can start putting yourself out there going, okay, now I'm ready to get married. And I just think it's safer for you. It holds you back from temptation, and you're really not wasting your time or that other person's time because you're just not ready for a full-blown commitment.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
So right now, statistically, it's because women have that type of mindset of let me get my career, they're realizing that women are not getting married into their later 30s and 40s.
Yeah, the average is about 30, 40s.
Yeah. So my question to you is from a biblical standpoint, right? We want to teach women. We're trying to raise, at least I am. I'm trying to raise a generation of women that see motherhood as a career. I'm just using career for societal terms. Yeah. So when we put that emphasis of wait till you get a career, then isn't that counterproductive to,
that's
what
I'm saying. It's something that I chose, but I would definitely encourage, I would far more encourage a woman to start looking at getting married earlier in life than later. But I had that same mentality of, I'm not going to let a man hold me back from what I want to do. Right. So it was really selfish, quite frankly. It was just a selfish mindset. I don't regret it, if I'm being completely honest, because it's brought me to where I am at now. But the Lord had to do a lot of reshaping in my mind of what that looks like, because I never wanted to be a mother. I never wanted to be a wife or that housewife. I always thought when I was a teenager, that I would be this career mom. You know what I mean? And now looking at the healthier standpoint of it, and not that I wasn't ever taught that. It was just what I saw in the world. And I was like, oh, that's glamorous. Yeah. A woman that's glamorous is a woman that wears a business suit. Right. And has her well-behaved kid and her nanny on her side.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was my vision for my future. And I started to kind of pursue that, but then the Lord really humbled me and shaped me. And I'm so glad that he did. So I would encourage women to get married younger, because I can tell you that even from my experience of marriages, now I've developed this I've become this person, this independent woman. I know what I want. I know how I run my household. I know how I run my things. And then trying to mesh that with another man, that was a hard shift. You know what I mean? That was a hard thing to mold into. No matter what age you get married at, you're gonna have to learn how to mold your lifestyle with another person.
For sure.
And so I would say it's just better to do that young before you really, get set in your ways. You guys can grow and develop and learn and mature together, as opposed to apart, where then now you have to try to bring it together, if that makes sense.
For sure.
So I agree with that. I think that motherhood should be far more celebrated in society than it is. I think there's a huge shift, though, happening right now,
There is, but that's what's tough is parents like us that are trying to reshape that narrative of society. It's where do you find a balance, an answer to that question, right? How do I teach my daughter, you can have goals and ambitions. I mean, heck, I'm a stay-at-home wife. I'm a mom. but I still have like my business ventures, right? Yeah. So it's like, how do and I don't even have an answer fully. Like I'm still like treading as I go, right? But how do I raise up these 3 daughters that I have, letting them know, yes, there's so much to women, but I want motherhood and wife and motherhood to also be celebrated and be as important as climbing a corporate ladder. So it's like, how do we mesh both worlds in a cohesive manner to where they can strive for both? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like,
without overwhelming them too.
Right, without overwhelming them, and with answering these simple, like not mundane, but like tasks. Like, okay, well, when can they start dating? Right? Yeah. You know, so it's like, it's so tough.
It is. Honestly, it is really tough, because I was even having this conversation with somebody that I know, and then they're like, well, why go do that when my desire is motherhood?
Yeah.
Like, why do this? Why do that? Why rack up those things when my desire is to be a wife and become a mother? And it's like, well, why can't you? And please, I say this with the disclaimer, right? Because it's like, well, why can't you have both? And I'm not saying, you shortchange one for the other, but it's like, it's in timing and it's in season. And so it's true. Like that, I think that's when you really have to be discerning and know the timing of the Lord and know what the Lord is calling you to, because at the end of the day, I think the driving goal with that, it's not motherhood for the sake of motherhood, and it's not goal for the sake of goals. It's like, what is the end goal? And the end goal is to give the lamb the reward for his suffering. And so it's to present a work that it's not going to be burned up when you're at the judgment seat, right? It's a work that you can present to Jesus refined by fire. And so what is the work that God is calling you to? And I know, for example, using Denize as an example, the things that she does, the blog, the business ventures, everything, is because that's something that she wants to present back to the Lord. And so in the motherhood, it's what shaped her. I remember, I'm sorry, I hope I don't expose too much about your life, but I remember when you were pregnant with Emma, right? And A-Rob gave you that word where he was like, pretty much what you're about to birth is going to be astounding. And of course, we accredit it to birthing Emma, but you were also birthing like a movement. You know what I mean? Because I credit you to, mommy friend, but I credit you to being able to restore that motherhood back to our church in a way, right? And where it's influenced a lot of people. And so to me, it's just like, okay, well, what is the end goal? Is the end goal motherhood just because you want to motherhood, or do you want to raise up a righteous generation? And when you want to raise up a righteous generation, then your business ventures are reflect that, right? And then if you want to be a faithful wife, then your business ventures reflect that. And then that is the work that is not going to be burned up when we all enter that judgment seat. And it's funny because that's been like
your heart.
That's been the thing that the Lord has been dealing with me with this year, where it's just like, okay, at the end of the day, like when you're standing by yourself, right? Because motherhood is not going to save you. Your works are not going to save you. Well, although there's scripture that I can use probably to rebuttal my own argument. But at the end of the day, like what's going to save you is what work you did for the Lord, right? Yes. I mean, because even Isaac and what was the flesh, the kid that they had? It was Isaac. Ishmael. Yeah, Ishmael. Sorry. Ishmael, right? That's a work of the flesh. Right. And so that's when Abraham has to take accountability for that. God is going to be like, I didn't ask you to have that kid, but by fatherhood for the sake of fatherhood produced that work. Right. But fatherhood for the sake of a righteous generation produced Israel. And so we got to have those things in mind. And I think at the end of the day, instilling that heart in your kids, where it's like honoring the Lord, that in itself is going to stir up the desire and learn how to discipline the desire. Because I think of people like Vicky. Vicky is like such an honorable young woman, right? That we had on Mondays with Mel. And I know that it's been hard for her, but even she has had to learn to navigate that, right? At such a young age. And so to me, it's just like, but at the end of the day, she relies on parents that remind her of her calling, that remind her of God's timing, and they themselves have had to be proven by fire when it comes to that. So I think at the end of the day, you can't make those decisions. I mean, in a way, right? You can train your kids, but at the end of the day, you can't really make those choices for them. What you can do is instill the fear of the Lord.
I love that. Sure. I love that because you're absolutely right, and I really truly believe there are people who are called to get married later in life. There are people who are called to get married earlier in life. And I love that you said that, because at the end of the day, it just goes down to just every day pursue God.
Yeah.
And he will lead you to the right place. He will lead you, you know. And so for me, I didn't start desiring children until really recently, and even just motherhood in general. The Lord's been really ministering to me about motherhood lately. And like for the first time in my life, I'm just like, that would be nice, you know? And that's a testimony in and of itself, because I was like, I can go without kids. Like, I'm fine with that. Yeah. You know, if the Lord gives me them, fine, I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But like, there was no desire. There was no like, I want to be a mother. And so if I would have had children, you know, earlier in my life, I probably wouldn't have been the greatest mother, because that passion, that desire wouldn't have been there to the level that it is now, where now I'm looking at it as an honor and a blessing to be able to raise up the next generation. And so, I mean, even with the sake of your daughters, of just do what the Lord's called you to do, you know, and like just every day. And if they're going, for example, they're in college, right, and they're building a career, they might meet their man in that place, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's going back to the answer. Don't date till you're ready to get married.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, just really, truly, like, look at your life and look at where you're at in your maturity. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to be the most mature. I'm not saying you have to have the best career. But are you really, truly ready to get married?
Ready to do the work.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
ready to do the work. I agree.
Exactly.
It's so good. So beautiful.
Yesi, anything you'd like to add?
No. I mean, when I first read the question, I was going to say maybe, you know, I can't give a specific age, right? But I can say for the men, obviously, when they're able to provide, but when they know that they need to grow up, right?
Yeah.
They're not just stuck in the ways. I would easily say, when you're not in this high school attitude drama thing.
Should I block them?
Yeah. You need to be emotionally mature, I would say, for both men and women, because there's still a lot of grown people who are not emotionally mature. They're still definitely not ready for marriage, and you can see that.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a huge one for sure. So
that's good.
But that ties into what you were saying.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, absolutely.
It could be summed up in that for sure. All right. So that one was really good. I didn't expect us to go down that bunny route. Good question.
Yeah,
good question. It wasn't on the outline though.
It wasn't, but I don't do well with outlines.
Okay.
I do.
But when I get spontaneous, you have a problem with
No, like I need an outline to guide me, but I need to free flow at the same time.
I need you to.
You just need a foundation.
But not
like
only when I want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Like let me know my options and then let me choose.
Sounds like a double standard, but who's counting? Like who's paying attention, right? Anyway, all right, you guys. So with this 1 year episode, what we're going to do is we're going to take the time to reflect. Just, 30 minutes each. Just kidding. We're going to go to our corners. I'm kidding. But just take a look back at the year, right? And just see what we've gained from it, however we want to answer it. But I'm going to leave it broad. I put it on the outline, but I'll leave it broad for my girl. And we can just go from there. So I've started with both of you. So I'm going to start with...
No, on the outline you said you're starting with Shekinah.
Oh, wait, did I?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Right now she wants to go with the outline.
Right here.
Look
right
at me.
Here, it says Shekinah.
Wow. Shout out to past Melissa for doing me wrong. All right, Shekinah, go for it.
No, I'm just blown. Like we're at a year, guys. Like that's crazy. And like literally thinking about like us huddled around a single mic and just record. I think we recorded on our phone or something, or
I think so,
on your computer. I think.
I don't remember.
But yeah, we were just we were literally we brought 2 mics, but only one of them worked, and that's crazy to to have that. And then we found you found Ramsey.
Ramsey found us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He reached out to us, and then you jumped on it. I would have been like another ad. Like,
that was such a God thing.
That was such a God thing.
I think you were hesitant in the beginning, weren't you?
Yeah, I was very hesitant.
Yeah.
I was just like,
we could do it.
I'm not throwing her under the bus.
Yeah, no, I was. I was so hesitant, and I was just like, guys, come on, we can do it. We can like whatever. Like, I just really Anyway. But no, Ramsey showed up, and he not only it was just such a blessing, because he not only just showed up. He showed up and taught us.
Yes.
Like there was a willingness
he imparted.
to teach. Yes,
he imparted. Thank you, Ramsey.
He taught us not only the equipment side of things, even just the social media side of things, and how to help us get boosted. And then I just love that when we did start doing it on our own, he celebrated that.
Yes. And he still does.
And he still does. Yeah, he still follows us. He's very active. Shout out to Ramsey.
Thank you, Ramsey.
You're
a real one.
Shade of Brown Pod.
Yes.
But no, like it was just such a blessing to see where that comes out of, And I feel like the best of ministries come out small. You know what I mean? The best of ministries come out just figuring it out on the go, because God has an empty canvas. We're not coming in with our knowledge. We certainly didn't come in with knowledge. We certainly didn't come in.
Certainly.
So
we could barely hear Denise in that first episode, remember? Because she was the farthest from the mic.
Cool. Yeah. And so just, I think God has really molded and shaped us, and he's continuing to. I can't wait until our next anniversary to see how far we've come, because just the fact that we're here, the fact that we're doing, Yesi's teaching us lighting. I mean, Yesi's fantastic. And like all of her production work. Yeah. She can stare straight into a sunlight and not blink. Like
right now.
Yeah, she's just, I don't even know how you do it, but although I just found out you're kind of blind. So
that's why.
That explains it.
That explains it.
The mystery has been revealed. Wow. Look at us.
That's all it takes.
No, but it's incredible. Photo shoots and events and getting people involved and hearing testimonies. Guys, I'm just genuinely this 1 year anniversary, and it's so heartwarming, and I'm just so glad that I get to do this with you guys and that we're all still here.
Yes.
We went through some stuff.
I was gonna say that.
We went through some stuff, and I'll let Denise do that part.
No,
but
no, go ahead.
That's all I'm gonna say. We just gone through some
like
stuff.
during the blues. No.
We've been through some stuff.
I'm sitting here like, what stuff have we been through that
but
we
we're
wouldn't
still
be
here.
Did I miss it? Denise, please enlighten us.
Apparently nothing.
Apparently nothing.
I can think
it's
of
all in our minds.
5 at the very least.
Yeah. No, but I'm ecstatic, and I'm just gonna keep repeating those words. So take it away, Denise.
Oh yeah, because I'm next.
You're next?
According to the outline.
Wow. Look at us. Order.
Reflecting. It's been awesome. It's been fun. It's been amazing. It's been so cool to see how we've adapted.
Yes.
Even when I was in Ohio, we zoomed in like the office style.
Yeah.
When you did that?
Yeah.
That's so funny. We need to bring that one back.
Yeah. I think the friendships that were just solidified or even strengthened within us was really cool to watch. The testimonies, everything. I think it was, for me, the biggest blessing was to see 4 very distinct people coming together and cohesively making this awesome. And I know I shared that from the beginning, and I think that to me has been like the biggest thing, because we're all very different people, but we found a way to really like bring it together, and not a competitive or like jealous type of way, but in a beautiful, like cohesive, harmonious way of like, dude, we knew each other's strengths, we knew each other's weaknesses, and we were able to just fill in the gaps like naturally. And that for me was like, wow, like that's how I knew when I said it to you guys, I know this is a God thing, because of how everything just came together, and the laughs, the funny, we laugh a lot. We can pick on each other, and it's amazing.
Pick on me.
Even when we did they still talk about it. Pam talks about it till this day. When we did the cutting the potatoes.
Oh my gosh, we had to post that.
So it's just been fun. It's been fun. It's been awesome. It's been a God time. And I've learned so much from each one of you guys. So
good answer.
Yeah,
I like that you looked at me in the eyes. You guys watch this on YouTube.
But yeah, we've been through hell and back, but we're here.
Yeah,
standing.
Here we're back. Yeah, hallelujah. And Yesi.
I didn't know that we were in turmoil at one point.
What?
That's what
Where were you?
like.
Where were you? Not with each other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what it sounded
like in
like.
general.
Oh, good. Thank you for clearing it.
Yeah. That's why when she was like that we're still all here, all 4 of us, and then you take it away, Denise. And I'm like, did I miss something?
You didn't know
Denise and I fought.
Yeah, you didn't know about the fight between Shekinah and I?
No, we're fine. We're good. We're good.
No, it was not
That's
us.
what it
I just meant on the outside. We all had our stuff.
Yeah, we each, through our own lives, dealt with battles.
Yeah.
And that did not stop us from coming together and still fulfilling what God called us to do here. Yes. And that to me is amazing, because not many people can do that, right? There is an integrity with us. There is an obedience. And I love those types of friendships, right? And you've talked about the obedience. So that's what we meant, not us. Shekinah likes me.
Yeah.
Remember when I left and then I came back and she's like, don't leave again.
I know.
And you're like, maybe I should leave.
Yeah, yeah. But thank you for
Just
that.
so she can miss. Okay.
I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah,
that.
for
I
sure.
get it now.
Okay. Because, I'm like, I missed out on a couple meetings, I guess.
You were out with the youth.
Yeah, there you go.
And during your own camp.
Yeah, there you go. Dealing with my own stuff right
Yeah,
there. That
for
was
real.
that was a whirlwind. I would say looking back, yes, there's a lot that we learned from each other, and I totally agree. There's still a lot of things that I'm still learning from you guys, even as of today, But I would say one of the biggest things that truly amazes me is just to see obviously you guys are all amazing, but the ones that are consistently following us from the very beginning, you guys are like troopers, amazing. Like you guys were there for episode 1 celebrating us. Come on now, like go listen to episode 1 right now and listen to this one and see the difference.
Huge difference.
And then Ramsey, thank you so much. Like I was a princess at that time. We were all princesses. We would just do our makeup and sit down and do you need help? No. Okay. Now we're doing all the work, right?
Yeah.
But I would say definitely for those people who cheer us on, you're our biggest fans, and we really do love you guys, and we appreciate you guys for sharing our content, for even listening to us, because come on now, like
who are we?
We're just 4 girls from the AV, and outer Kern County. But like that is amazing, and that blows my mind that you guys are still loyal to us, and honestly, you guys receive impartation even from what you listen to and you share with other people, and I'm thankful for that, because then that shows that Jesus is moving not only in your life, but you're making it happen in other people's lives, and that's the whole goal. Like we even said, like if we don't have Jesus in this anymore, then it's done.
There's no point, for sure. Yes, I love that. There's something that and how you're saying about like our listeners and stuff, and we love when you guys come and talk about like the things that we said, but when you add your spin to it as well, like how it ministered to you personally and how the Lord has added to that revelation, like that is the most amazing thing, right? Because it's like that's how we know revelation's in the room, right? When the Lord can speak to you through it and we can like flow and stuff, and so we appreciate you guys so much. So thank you for that. I think for me, the biggest reflection has been, not to keep beating this horse up, this dead horse, but especially for the last season, like honestly, it really was a doozy. It really was really tough, and I don't know that, at least personally for me, I don't know that I've ever encountered that kind of like warfare and that kind of stuff, and so but what was astounding to me, especially with these group of women, was that in our busyness, in their chaos, and their boundaries and all these things, like they still showed up and they gave it their best. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that stirred me up, right? Because I'm like, how, like I can't waste these talents, as the Bible says, like I can't bury these talents. I have to be here and I have to make sure that I honor that. And so, I know that they talk a lot about me doing the work, but at the end of the day, like to me, that's the least that I can do, because the way that they've sacrificed for this podcast, for this ministry, like it's amazing. And it's not obviously, like, and I don't say this boastfully, like I know that they have a heart for me, but I think moreover they have a heart for, of course, God, but they have a heart also for the listener. They know that what they've been through, what the battles that they've gone through, like they want to be able to make sure that you guys can glean from that. And so to me, that's so profound to see, like, wow, what is this, that they would be so mindful of this, and so I know that a lot of you guys don't know, but like if you were to only know the kind of stuff that they've sacrificed in order to be at this table, then you guys would just be astounded and blown out of the water. And so to me, I was just like, wow, God, like you're so amazing to have this group of women here. And not just that, but I think what happens in ministries like this, another thing that I reflected on, what happens in ministries like this is like, how girl bands, boy bands or whatever, they start out and they're cohesively, and then one person like does the solo album or whatever. What I love about this is that the 4 of us have our like auxiliary things happening, and the four of us have our own identity outside of this. And when we come together here, it's a community, it's a unity of bringing those gifts together, which is what you were saying. And so it's like, you know, one of the things that I've and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but that I've tried to do is like, okay, like how can we bring in mommy friend, how can we bring in Shekinah's thing, how can we execute Yesi's giftings, like with this beautiful lighting and everything, right? And it's because to me it's just like, if at the end of the day, like if this thing is for anything, is to bring out the gifts in people, you know. And that's why we brought in other, like Who's in the Vine, and we interview people because we know that it doesn't end with us, you know. And so I think that's been the biggest reflection to me, is like when you really stop and look around at who is in your life, you'll really you really will feel rich. And to me, that's just astounding to be able to have these kind of relationships and to be a part of a church that allows us to grow in this way, you know, because we don't have leaders that would feel threatened by our ministry or anything. If anything, they've come alongside. Like there's been times where Pastor Linda's like, this is from God, you better honor it like it's from God, and you better work at it like it's from God, because it is. And so, you know, like they're just willing to let us shine. And I think other ministries wouldn't do that. They would really want to squander that, or they would want to control it. And so I'm just really grateful that that's the kind of family that we have at our church and the kind of support that we have. And so with that being said, is there anything else that you ladies would like to add to end this?
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. And I love that you brought in diversity, because we were originally in the Vine dating. Yeah. But we took out the dating part because of how much diversity was coming from each one of us. And so it was just in the Vine. And now it can be in the Vine anything. Yeah. You know? And so, yeah, I love that you brought that up, is we had that shift, and we debated a lot as to what to do with it and how to change it and what do we change it to. But then we all just settled on, how about just in the Vine? Yeah. And we can insert anything after that, because it really, this can branch out into so many different ministries, pun intended. But I think that's what's so beautiful about this, is we started not knowing what we're doing, and here we are.
And I do, I'm so glad you said that, because I do want to touch on, you know, we have had failures, okay? Oh, yeah. We've missed the mark.
It's how we learn.
It's how we've learned. You know, there's things that we tried that weren't successful. There's things that we should have tried better, that we should have, you know what I mean? Like, it's been that, but it's about knowing your footing, right? It's like hiking and knowing your footing and just being like, okay, I'm just not going to take that step anymore. And realizing that success is not just measured by people's response, but it's measured by the pleasantness of the Father. And so I know that it can sound like a cop-out, but it really is not, because when you know that it's something that you're honoring the Lord for, I think you're willing to make yourself look like an idiot. You know what I mean? It's like, I tried it, I failed, and that's okay, you know? And so I'm not saying that to kind of, again, cop out, but I think it's really important when you're able to fail in public and be okay. You know what I mean? Because it goes back to what Shekinah said. When you have secrets, that's when you get to a place of where you're at danger of being deceived. And so, you know, just because we're talking highly about it, it doesn't mean that we're not very much aware of the lows that we've had within the Vine. But we've taken that as rungs on the ladder, where it's like, okay, we're going to step over that one, and we're just going to continue to climb. And so there's no other group of women that I would want to fail and have success with. And I say that wholeheartedly. So thank you, guys. Yes. The tip of the week. Let me see if I have one for this week, because we got to stay consistent. The tip of this week is, who in your life does something that you...
Sounds like a question.
Who wrote this?
I wrote this. In the Vine tip of the week, go out and celebrate your accomplishments. Yes. Go and get yourself a nice little coffee. Go and get yourself a nice little tea, a nice little scone, and just enjoy the season that you're in, because God can move mightily. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're so excited to be able to deliver this rest of the season. You guys are in for some good impartation. And as always, make sure you follow, share, click, subscribe, all the things. We appreciate you guys. See you next episode.
Bye. Bye.
Nice. Woo! Nice.
Thank you for listening. If you liked this episode, or we answered any of your questions, or you have a question you would like discussed in future episodes, let us know in the comments or share on social media at inthevine.connects. And be sure to hit subscribe so you won't miss out on the amazing content and guests we have lined up for you. To find out about our upcoming events and more, please visit our website at www.inthevine.org.